Speaking of which, when I have this idea of what a philosopher is, it's of course a guy in tweed with glasses, or it's someone like Descartes who goes off into his cabin for 3 days and comes off and pretty much establishes the modern worldview. How did you break the mold and become such a pithy and humorous writer, especially about something like philosophy? It can't be done, but then we read your book and we were laughing halfway through it. In fact, I have highlights that just are really good jokes in your book.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's encouraging. I will say this. And this is one of the things my kids are always surprised at. I mean, they kind of don't know my alter ego as a philosopher. I'm like just this kid, we're just always laughing. And the other thing too, is I know what it's like to not understand. And so I get frustrated with people who don't explain things well, that write tersely or whatever. I just don't. It's frustrating. It's like, you could explain this better. You could, it's not. You can explain almost anything when it comes to like its core views. Like, even if you just said, all right, well, here's the basic. Here, let me tell you about chemistry. So chemistry, I'll explain to you. Chemistry is just it's about is the exchange of electrons between atoms and molecules. That's it. Like, you can succinctly put whatever it is, in some form to get it across. Anyways, all that to say is I don't like to not understand, and I know what it's like to not understand. And I also know what it's like to be really bored with this material and just with learning in general. It's, one of the things, this is more of a pedagogy teaching kind of point, but you think about like the math teacher who just went into it because she loves math, which is great. But some teachers are like that, and they don't realize that the kids absolutely hate it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And so you've got to know, first of all, it's really hard. Second of all, no one likes it and no one wants to be there. So you've got to change things up, and you've got to make it so that you're getting the main and only the main points across, and in a way that your audience can relate to. And that takes time to figure that out. But again, I think part of it is just because I'm not brilliant, and so I know what it's like to not understand. So
yeah, I think
I kind of just teach myself, and it's like, well, here's what I want. I wish someone would have told me this way.
Yeah, and had a good quip in the middle there. But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why we started this show too. Is just there's a lot of good stuff out there, a lot. I remember doing a book with Tony Scott Oliphant's Covenantal Apologetics, and there was one chapter that he had where it was about using the Trinity when it was to talk to Muslims, and I was like, this is the worst possible thing that you could do. I don't understand this. And we sat down and we had a 2.5-hour discussion on it, and by the end of it, I was like, "This is a really good, yeah, absolutely. This is what should be done." Completely changed my mind, and it was just great to kind of have someone who's again way smarter than me. I mean, he's the one with the doctor before his name. I'm just the BSer in the fact that I have the bachelor's of science in criminal justice, nonetheless, but a minor in philosophy. So I can pour myself a cup of coffee. And so, yeah,
that's right. There you go.
I appreciate your book, and especially as an editor too. When we come to discussion of this, it's really good in your How to Be an Atheist book to break it down just by your headings. Your headings are pretty much where I draw the line at where we make these little short clips for sharing, and people can understand it and kind of break it down even more if they want to rewatch the same video over and over again.
So, well, good. That's helpful to know.